What's going on, guys? Hey, today what I wanted to do is talk about day trading advice I learned the hard way. If this is your first time here, my name's Brandon, and I'm just here to document my journey trading futures with prop firms. So if that's something you want to follow along with, consider subscribing, see all my new videos. But I've been trading for a little bit over 3.5 years now, and I feel throughout that time there are quite a few different things that I've learned with myself, with the market, with trading in general, and there are things that I had to learn the hard way. I mean, just being in the trenches every single day and mastering yourself, mastering your craft, right? And I think as traders, we all come to the game with different strengths and weaknesses. So something that I might struggle with, you might not struggle with, right? Or it may be easier for you to get past that. One big thing for me has always, I've done really well at is patience, right? I have a son that has high functioning autism, and I think maybe that is an area where I've had to learn to be patient in life, and that has overflowed into trading and into the charts. And it has been something that I haven't really struggled with too much, patience. But there's other areas where I feel like I do have a very ADHD type brain. I'm very analytical, and I have, over the course of my trading journey, tried a bunch of different strategies, strategy hopped a lot. And not that that's a bad thing, but it has delayed my progress of consistency. It took me a lot longer to get consistent because I kept jumping, trying different strategies and seeing what fit. And so let's jump into the trading advice I feel like I've had to learn the hard way. Okay, guys, so here we are. Let's just jump into these right away, okay? And the first one is to axe your emotions, get a grip or get out. Now, we're humans. We're going to have emotions when we are dealing with money and on the charts, right? That is never going to go away 100%. At least I've found. Maybe for you, you're able to make it go away 100%. It has never happened for me. But I think what I'm trying to explain here is that you need to have a control of your emotions, right? You need to be able to look at yourself and realize when you're maybe getting emotional in a trade. Maybe you have too much size, and we need to, cut back on the size, get a grip on our emotions. If you're feeling emotional in the trade, maybe you need to just cut early, take a little bit of profit and get out, right? And so when I say axe your emotions, I don't mean get rid of emotions completely, because sometimes we can lean into our emotions a little bit for kind of signaling what we're feeling at the time, right? Maybe we're just not in a headspace to trade. So the next one is ditch the ego. It'll bleed you dry. And so if you come into the market and you get a couple wins, sorry about that. You get a couple wins under your belt. I've felt it. I'm sure if you haven't felt it yet, you will feel it. You're gonna start getting an ego like you can't lose. And that is when the market will absolutely humble you. It'll hit you with losses. You'll start maybe trading bigger size, and that's when that first loss is gonna come. Then you get into a cycle of revenge trading, and it's just a downward spiral. So when we do win in the markets, or when I win in the market, I need to realize that it has really nothing to do with me, right? Trading is just a matter of probabilities. And so at the end of the day, whether I win, whether I lose, it really has nothing to do with me personally, okay? So ditch your ego. That's gonna probably be the best piece of advice that I had to learn the hard way, because that is definitely something that I have dealt with in the past. So the next one is manage your risk or watch your account vanish. And this is something my first 6 months of trading, my first year of trading, I did not really have any type of grasp on, is managing my risk. I was always thinking about how much I could make and not how much I could actually lose. And so what ended up happening is, I would have some nice wins, and then I would just let my losses run wild. So I was in turn unprofitable, right? So the quicker that you can realize that, it's more about managing your downside than worrying about how much upside you might have. If you can keep your losses really small, when things start moving against you, or you have your specific trade plan, not going against that. Don't axe that stop loss because you think that it's inevitably going to go in your way. You have the stop there for a reason. Keep it, okay? Manage your risk, or you will see your accounts, prop firms, you're just going to blow them over and over again. No plan, you're gambling. Don't pretend otherwise. So if you're just hopping on the chart, you don't really have any type of plan of what you're looking at, maybe higher time frames, you're pretty much gambling. If you're just throwing on size and hoping that the trade goes in your direction, then you really do not have a plan. Where is your stop? Where is your take profit? Don't not have those in place before the trade, okay? That is one thing that I struggled with quite a lot, is sometimes I wouldn't place a stop, or I wouldn't necessarily have a take profit. And when you're in the middle of the trade and maybe it's moving in your direction, greed will start to take over, okay? You'll think that you can get more out of the trade that you're probably actually gonna get. Or if it's moving against you, you keep thinking, okay, I'm gonna just, let it run a little bit more against me and hope that the trade ends up turning around. Never works out. Have a stop, have a take profit, have a plan of what you're actually looking for. And you will see a world of difference in your trading. At least I did. So patience pays. The impatient lose every time. Talked about it in the beginning of the video. This is something that I've actually done pretty well with, right? The circumstances in my life have allowed me to have a lot more patience, right? I don't push my evals really hard and try to size up and get them passed in 2 days, although I could, and I have tried to do that before. It just doesn't work for me, right? And so patience has always never really been a big thing for me. I'm willing to, put my head down, hit the base, get the base hits every single day, and build it up over time. I have no issues with that. So patience pays, guys. The impatient lose every single time. It may happen quickly for you, but you'll start to see, this isn't with trading, it's with a lot of things in life, that the quicker something comes, the faster it goes away from you as well, right? So I did really well in crypto a few years ago. It was just mind-boggling to me, insane. And it came really fast. Within 2 months, it went just as fast. I've just found that when things come quickly, they can leave just as quickly. So the next one is, one trade means nothing. Your next 100, that's the focus. And a guy that I actually was really close with when I first started trading, he taught me this. And he pretty much said, do not worry about your next trade or 10 trades. It's the course of your next 100 trades. What does that look like, right? So you may lose 2 or 3 trades in a row. It doesn't matter. That has no impact on your overall trading career, right? So if you want to be trading for the next 20, 30 years of your life, does the next trade, or even 100 trades, does it really matter? You may place thousands of trades, tens of thousands of trades over your career. So stop looking so micro and start looking macro. And that has helped me, especially trading futures and prop firms, is, you know what? If I have a losing day, I really try to psychologically come into the next day like I am starting at zero again. Yesterday didn't happen. Same with winning days too, right? Yesterday didn't happen. I'm coming in at zero. I am worried about today, getting a green day today, and that is all. So one trade means nothing. Your next 100, your next 1,000, your next 10,000 trades, that should be the focus. And so the next one that I've learned the hard way is losses are unavoidable, and it's called business expense. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of traders talk about this, but you're gonna lose. And I think as human beings, we're hardwired to not want to lose, to avoid loss, right? Because we associate loss with not being good at something. Again, drives into ego. Because you lose, you are somehow, less than. But in trading, you're going to lose. And pretty much in life, right? You're going to have losses. The only way to win is to lose over and over again. And so losses are unavoidable. The faster you can get that through your brain and try to get rid of those emotions of feeling down when you lose, it's going to help you so much more. It helped me, right? A lot of just psychological work, not worrying about the losses because they don't have anything to do with me. That just happened to be the probabilities of the setup that I took. So the next one is the market doesn't care. Your feelings are irrelevant. A lot of times I would come into the market and feel like, man, I deserve a win. I've had the last 3-4 trades that are losses. I need to win this one. I feel like the market wants me to win this one. It doesn't care. You could lose another 10 times. So you need to go into the market without having feelings that you deserve to be a good trader, or you deserve to have this winning day or this payout or pass this evaluation, because the market doesn't care. It's an inanimate object, right? It doesn't really care. It has no feelings, and you shouldn't really have feelings one way or another with, the market and what you think that you deserve. Track your trades. What you don't measure, you can't improve. And so I would say, if you're in year 1, year 2, journaling, right? I've journaled. I don't do it consistently. I don't do it on every trade. I find that releasing videos on YouTube and going over my trades definitely helps, because I'm able to talk through the reason why I took a certain setup, right? And so maybe you do that as well. Maybe you start releasing some YouTube videos or TikTok or whatever you want to do, talking about your trades, or even just starting up the camera and recording yourself and saving it for yourself to review later on. The more you can talk about your trades, the setups, why you took what you were taking, your emotions at the time, what you were feeling, how you were feeling that day. Was there anything going on in your life at the current time that was unique or different? Those are things that you become more aware of, right? And the more you can talk about those things openly and review them, it just makes you a better trader. So what you don't measure or track, you can't improve, right? So start tracking your trades, whether that's written through videos, it doesn't matter. Or even just taking a journal every day and briefly talking about what you're doing. This has been a huge one. Most won't understand what you're doing. Save your energy. So if I had to guess, like myself, most everybody that I know personally doesn't trade. They look at trading as, you're going into a casino and gambling. And I guess in a sense, I kind of agree with them, right? We're just playing a game of probabilities where we feel like we have a little bit of edge. I do think that unlike a casino, we have a lot more of an advantage, okay, than just walking into a casino, pulling a slot and hoping that we win. But to outsiders, that's what you're doing, right? You're just gambling. You're just throwing money in the market, hoping that you get some wins. So save your energy, guys. Don't try to tell other people what you're doing, or convince them that you're going to be XYZ in this amount of time. Like, keep your moves silent. Keep it to you. Keep it to yourself. Okay. Most people, honestly, they don't care, and they don't understand to begin with. So unless you have a really rare few people or one person who gets it, right? I've had someone like that to me. He doesn't even trade, but he literally watches all my videos. We talk trading, and he is in crypto, but he doesn't day trade. And he's just very vested in me and the things that I'm doing, and is always willing to listen and have an ear. So if you do have someone like that, then amazing. Talk to that person about trading and, back and forth, or maybe they trade themselves. But most other people are not going to have any interest in what you're doing or even understand. So you're wasting your energy trying to tell them about your trading or convince them of your trading, right? That's just something that I have seen. Save your energy. All right, guys, save your energy. So, and the last one here I want to talk about is it takes time, way longer than you think. Get used to it. If you're going to be on YouTube, if you're going to be on TikTok, you're going to see tons of traders talking about, I was profitable in 6 months. I was profitable in 3 months. I got my first payout in a year. It doesn't matter. All right. Everybody is on a different journey and it's going to take time. This is a skill. It's a performance sport. Maybe you've heard other traders talk about that. There's going to be days or seasons that you just are not in the groove. It takes time, right? It's gonna take at least a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. It's gonna take time. I mean, and that's something that I've had to come to grips with over the course of my journey, because it's kind of like getting into it, being a little bit naive, right? You see all the glitz and glamour on YouTube and you think like, man, this actually looks kind of easy. It's not. I'm just going to tell you, it's not easy. The charts, okay, maybe the charts are the charts, but at the end of the day, it's mastering your psychology. It's being able to objectively look at what you're doing and make improvements, right? And I think that's the hardest struggle. Strategy and looking at a chart is just, that just is what it is. I would say that's probably the easy part. The harder part is being able to level up and stick with it and keep mastering yourself, and being honest where your downfalls are and the areas that you need to improve. Just a quick little something that I wanted to share with you guys, because these are day trading lessons I feel like I've had to learn the hard way. Not to say that these are even everything, right? Because I'm still learning. I'm sure most traders still learn every single day. We keep trying to be better human beings, better traders, better with our family, right? So we are continuing to level ourselves up, but these are just some quick things that I took mental notes of that I've had to learn the hard way. And all I'm going to say is that you guys keep going. Okay, keep going, work on these things. If these are areas that you struggle with, it's all right. Everybody struggles. Everybody struggles in trading. No one is above the struggle or the learning curve, right? We all have our own time frame. We all make it in our own time, and that's just what it is. All right, guys. Hope you got some good stuff out of this, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.